Dear friends, in this show the only thing for sure is that we aren't citizens. We're not trying to convince you that what we have in our hands must be written, because it's an amazing choice. So here we have a little issue. What we have in our hands today can cover 3 categories of motorcyclists. The first one is the newbie, who starts and wants to have something very solid under his feet so that it doesn't bother him. The second category is people who typically have a driver's license but want to switch from a car to a scooter to save time and avoid traffic. And the third category is the baked, the breaded, the people who have many kilometers, and for some reason, let's say for the budget on top with the 𝐬𝐴𝐲, it doesn't work out for them at this time and they want to get something more economical but also do the job for them. Go there. We've got ourselves a partnership between 2 really big companies, Triumph English and Indian Bazaar, which has a sales cycle, I think last year was at 18 million motorcycles. The little number isn't small, it means something. And what that means is exactly what we have in our hands. Before we go to the numbers, which are never lies, let's take a look visually. It's a retro motorcycle that has some really beautiful touches on it. Thus, you can choose between the blackened little apples or opt for the blackened top slab as per your preference. USB port. We possess a stunning motor that has a retro aesthetic, but is packed with an abundance of cutting-edge technology and innovative features. It doesn't go unnoticed on the street. All right, let's go for the numbers. We have a set that weighs 170 kilos. Tank is full, so it is ready to go with the key in hand. We have a tank that holds 13 liters and has a consumption, as the manufacturer states, of 3.5 liters per 100 kilometers traveled. This is something we'll see in the trial run. We have a really beautiful instrument that has an analog odometer and a multi-indicator LCD screen that is very easy to read. We have a saddle with a gradient between driver and passenger. It's comfortable, but also in accessories there is more comfort, meaning with more material. We have 17-inch wheels. In any case, this particular version here is intended for driving on the road. For brakes, we have a front single 300 mm disc with a 4-piston caliper from Bajaj. The truth is that this company is purchased by Brembo. We will see it and discuss it because we have some matters to address over there. And in the back, we have again a single disc plate of 230 millimeters. These 2 brakes work together with a Bosch unit that operates flawlessly. For posts, we have a front inverted fork of the 𝐶𝐫𝐵 43 millimeters with a travel of 140 millimeters. She's got that emerging golden touch. Is this the aesthetic touch we've talked about that catches the eye? And in the back we have a monocoque which has a nitrogen tank and only has a salt charger. Just to add that the front suspension has no adjustments and it's, from what we've seen so far, very well graded. Catch you later. The core of this whole thing, the motor that is a 1-cylinder 4-stroke 4-valve with 2 overhead camshafts and has a displacement of 398 cc. It delivers 40 horses at 8,000 revolutions per minute and 37.5 Newton meters at 6,500. We'll catch up along the way. Let's go and see what these numbers have to tell us on the road. And of course, let's see why I'm struggling and trying not to sound like a civilian, since this whole thing here is magic. So the first thing we notice when I put it on the motorcycle is its height. The saddle is way too low, way too low. It's low for a motorcycle and will satisfy most of us. Definitely there's a little issue with tall people, so a test ride will help a lot. So the second thing is the steering wheel. So the handlebar is based on the volume of the motorcycle. It appears to be slightly larger than its volume. However, the reality is that it is appropriately sized because it greatly facilitates the rider's experience with the directional shifts, to the extent that I could almost claim it maneuvers based on thought rather than physical exertion. The sneakers. It is situated a little further back from the sink. Not directly in the center of the sink, but slightly off to the side. I would say a shot. But it's right, because the body needs to come forward a bit, so that because we're talking about a new and naked motorcycle, because the air will constantly hit it, if the body was vertical, it would be a little show. You're going to have a tough time. The analog speedo is awesome, just like all the indicators it has. The only thing I'll say is, it's like it lacks a temperature gauge. So, to clarify, in our test with 2 people, I weigh between 178 to 193 kilograms, so I should be approaching 100 with my equipment. Second person, about 82 to 85 kilograms, with gear reaches 90 plus. Imagine a scenario where we had no problems whatsoever, where we didn't make any physical contact, not even a slight touch like this. Let's say I blamed it on him later, maybe on a motorbike. I apologize for that. However, this motorcycle, did not display any indications of experiencing difficulty in handling those bumps anywhere. Her posts and brakes are appropriately calibrated. You can occasionally hear my voice producing sounds. However, that is because I am generally very relaxed and at ease while riding on a motorcycle. So the front body possesses an exceptionally impressive gradient. It is as tough as nails. There ain't no setting, as you can see, no absolutely regulation, so this means we can't intervene. But what they have already done at Triumph, with the help of Bajaj, of course, is that they have made a proper hardness reading so that it doesn't bother you, but also gives you complete information. Listen to what I'm saying, complete information, and I really like that a lot. The back only has the adjustment of the spring preload, which is very good with one person, but with the second person, of course, we were both eating our little meal, as I told you. It is not coming easily, but we can put an end to it in the back. Her controls are uncomplicated and straightforward, just like they ought to be on a motorcycle. It doesn't confuse at all. The menu of the LCD screen is really easy peasy. No need to bother for any reason. Now for the brakes. Personally, I don't give a damn about Vibre or whatever the hell they're saying. I call her Vibre for the Y. In my opinion, it covers the entire shebang and caters to the needs of the blokes. Just a reminder, I am not generally one of those kids who would take it slow. My hand's grip is a bit heavy, just like the pressure I apply on the brake is a tad too much. What can I say? It has me covered. Although I shouldn't have skipped the frame, as it was an important step that I overlooked and now realize its significance. Regarding this specific set that we currently have beneath our feet right now, I can confidently say one thing without a shadow of a doubt. That is absolutely awesome. It's so well graded that it honestly brings it to the side, to the feeling of joy, of the fan. He tells the fan, make it so you can easily drift, enter turns easily, play with the suspension, brake hard, and have fun pushing the limits. He does everything, he hears everything, don't worry about it. That's why I believe that this particular set is a set that addresses these 3 categories that I mentioned earlier in the statement. Consumption is an additional matter that is also of great concern and ranks high on the list of priorities. So, the numbers that the factory provides are accurate. They have a minor issue in my possession because I informed you that my possession is heavy and it doesn't seem to lighten up much. But we should never, ever, ever bother the people around us for the lights, like I didn't tell you that yours are all LED. And whether it's the blinkers or the main lights, specifically the rear one, and the front headlight for the engine. Now this engine is a surprise. It's important to note that the factory's numbers are correct, despite the small issue I mentioned earlier. And I'll tell you why. Because simply put, it doesn't have any resistance at all. He doesn't have a belly to say, oh, here it doesn't work, he can't, he doesn't want to. It depends again on why we need it. We want to go like 20 kilometers, we go in 20 kilometers. We want to go with the sixth final, which is 160 kilometers on the Odo. Whether standing tall or slightly hunched, he manages to get by. And this is something that I personally like, not being under special conditions or engine performance, whatever it says. It definitely ensures that I don't forget to mention that we took it to a strict dynamometer here in Greece, specifically in Athens, at Konstantinos Pervolarakis. It's a dynamometer that, let me tell you, doesn't easily show horsepower, and that's why we call it a strict dyno. He wrote exactly what Tram gives. 41 horses in the stable. One of the features that this motor has, which is a plus, is its bell. So the technical directive says that the bell should come unclamped so as not to bother the rider during startups and descents. They're not wrong. I don't know if I should say the term that it's a slippery bell. Everyone tightens in a bell. So it doesn't lock the rear wheel when you do heavy descents. You didn't even try. That's not the nature of this motorcycle. However, regardless of whether it is at the commencement or at the termination, in other terms, the performance of it is impeccable, exhibiting no imperfections or shortcomings whatsoever. In my opinion, I would say it is a slippery slope. I tend to hold a grudge if it is a slippery slope, especially when it behaves in that particular way. Also, we should note that it has traction control, but it only has two options. It lacks graduated traction. It only has enabled and disabled. In my own small hands, it did not activate. That is strange, I would say. And of course, as we have previously mentioned, the motorcycle is very easy to handle, even for beginners like me. This balance I have between the frame of the bike and the geometry is mind-blowing. Of course, the handlebar helps too, as we said, being so open and making everything so easy. The truth is, because this particular motorcycle can handle off-road, even if it's a bit rough, we get to see videos from India. In regions characterized by mountains, on roads situated in mountainous areas, the SUV 400 seems to have no trouble getting stuck anywhere on those mountain roads, in those areas with mountains. The engine does not appear to be struggling in any way or experiencing any difficulties whatsoever. That can't handle it, that the others below are few. The truth is, it's ready everywhere with the gas turned on. Imagine that at this very moment I am similar to a rather steep road on which I am currently in the 6th gear of my journey. When I open it, it pushes. It's not like you just open the can and it doesn't produce anything. When I want to go fast and smoothly, I opt to lower one gear, which makes it effortless and ensures a breeze-like experience during my ride. So, besides the driving chaos, I could say in this whole mess, we have some other little things. He's got plenty of accessories. Starting from the top down, it has a windshield, the famous Triumph windshield on the lights. It has round turn signals. It has an optional windshield. It has a luggage rack. It has upper and lower engine guards, and it also has a skirt. So, there are quite a few little things to add, so that you can fix it and adjust it to your own taste. So this set comes in 3 colors, which basically means the color changes in the blink of an eye. This here is the one you see with the port-colored or red pork chicken cooked. The second one is blue, and the third one is black with grey. Let's go for the surprise. Set cost €5,690. 690 euros. If you have uncertainties, it is beneficial to have uncertainties. If what I am stating corresponds to what you believe in, proceed to have a trial run, and I would appreciate it if you share in the comments section if our viewpoints coincide.